Actually, the app is coming out today. So it's a very exciting day.
It's actually a big day.
Wow!
Yeah,
How long is that? How's that process been?
It's been a process that we very much learned on the job. I went from never considering entrepreneurism to quit my job a month later after thinking, I really am passionate about solving this problem.
Yeah.
And let's put together a team of people that have the skills to solve this problem. And so it's been very much like, how do you build an app? Asked me 10 months ago, I'd have no idea. And then through going through this process and going through it with Fee, you very much like learn step by step how to build something. But it really is what we see building an app or building any sort of product. It's, do I have deep understanding about this problem with all its nuances? And do I have deep understanding for the people I'm solving the problem for?
Yeah.
And can I work collaboratively with the people, with understanding those problems, with listening, with empathizing, and then iteratively create a solution that is that perfect match for the problem you're solving and the people you're solving the problem for. So it's been a very real journey, but it's a very exciting one.
So 10 months ago, what made you quit your job to be like, this is a problem I care so much about, and maybe existing solutions aren't doing the right thing?
For the last 7 years, we've both been working in career coaching. I'm going to take you back to when I was 16. I was a very disengaged student, had no interest in academics, was in bottom set of most of my classes at school, and got invited to this Women in Engineering event. 5 girls got to go. I begged to go because I wanted a day of school and free lunch in London.
Gabby being at the front of the class, actually not leaving the teacher's side until he let her go as well.
So you were both in the same school?
Yeah,
exactly,
the same
class.
We've known
Same
each other
class,
for-
yeah.
So we've known each other for 14 years, and there was 5 of us that got to go to this Women in Engineering event. And I thought engineering was like plumbing, guys getting their hands dirty.
And is that why you wanted to go?
I was just like, I'm here for a free day of school and lunch. Like, that was my idea. But we both went to this event and it completely transformed my academic and career trajectory. I left that event deciding I'm going to be an engineer. And from that early career experience, seeing how transformative those early insights into what different careers actually look like and what the impact of having that why am I doing my academics, what could that lead to, what could my life be. And so since then, for the last 7 years, I've taught kids from 25 different countries all around the world in loads of different continents, and with that passion of I want to help individuals find and reach the right fit career. Because you look around our friends and the large majority of people are in a job that doesn't fulfill them and it sucks the energy out of you.
And these are some of the most talented people that we know, like people who could be solving the world's problems and also deserve to be very happy. And it's very wrong to see them like not in a job that is right for them, where they're using their best skills. And at the time before we did this, not being able to do anything about it. So,
It's so wrong to have so many people. It's like a common thing, like, how was your job? Oh,
like, it's wild.
Like,
it's so unfair. I think we're doing a huge disjustice to people. Yeah. The world would be a significantly different place if people were in their right fit, and everyone does have their right fit.
Yeah.
But going back to your question of why did we actually quit our jobs? So I went for another summer of teaching over 600 students from lots of different countries in these engineering programs that gives insight into what the career looks like. And again, hearing the same problems over and over again of people not knowing what careers actually look like and making really uninformed decisions that have huge impacts on their lives. And just getting
uninformed,
getting increasingly frustrated. And it's just like a problem we've always spoken about for the last few years of just like, that's why we spent a lot of time in these early career initiatives, because we see a huge impact. And then again, just this summer, getting increasingly frustrated, seeing the same problems and being like, actually, I'm an engineer. My core skill is I'm a problem solver. And if I care enough about this problem and believe that I can build a team and a group of people that have the skills to solve this problem, isn't it a bigger risk to not take that? What's the risk of me staying in my corporate job, knowing that I have an insight into a problem that could change the world significantly, and I'm not doing that? What's that risk? Enormous. So it was a huge risk not to leave. So I left.
So you were an engineer at Rolls-Royce, aerospace engineer, may I add.
Yeah.
And then you handed your notice in and...
Yeah. It was very wild kind of period of my life, and it's very refreshing now to look back on it because it was very much like I never considered starting a business, and a friend said, like, why don't you solve this problem if you care so much about it? And it went from that to literally quit my job a month later. And in that time, leaving jobs, I think often it's not really spoken about as much as it maybe should, but leaving a job, you're leaving part of your identity. That's where I spent my internships. That's where I did my work experience. I did my grad scheme there. So my corporate identity was very much wrapped in that space. So leaving that, it's leaving part of who you feel identified with,
what you tell people you are, isn't it?
And I think what I've learned from breaking away from that, like, I am who I am regardless where I'm working, and that, you know, but it was a big part of allowing me to do that jump is co-founding it with Fee. You've got there a partner. It's like, it's very much, you know, similar to what a marriage looks like, in the sense that you've got someone there where you're bringing different things to the table. And more than anything, you have the emotional support you're both going through that experience of what it feels like, the anxiety, the stress, you know, a lot of people believing you're crazy to leave your corporate job, but you have that person that you can ring anytime and just hear each other, listen to each other, understand each other. So that kind of made a huge help.
Gabby quit. Did Gabby ring you? I've got this idea. Quit your job too. Like, how was that whole process?
Gabby's a much better salesperson than that, but you're not far off. So like Gabby said, like, we've been doing these early careers initiatives just separately because we both cared a lot about them because they'd had such large impacts on us. And similar to Gabby, I'd been getting to a point where I was going to volunteer teaching to try and get girls into computer science. I was running these insight days and was looking around a room of 30 people, and as a technologist, similar to an engineer, your key skill is your problem solving. As a technologist, your key skill is the ability to scale things, really, like at no extra cost. That's the amazing thing that tech and software can do. So I was looking around and kind of saying to myself, how much of this is impactful and how much of this is virtue signaling?
So impactful, could you, like, I would love to know in more detail, like, what were you doing that you felt maybe in your career wasn't so impactful?
So specifically the DE&I, diversity, equity and inclusion efforts, it's better than nothing, don't get me wrong. But things like once a week going to an East London school that had one computer science teacher, so some of the classes are taught by recordings of the teacher. Because there aren't enough computer science teachers. They're completely often being taught, well, not often, but in some cases being taught by recordings of the teacher. So going and volunteer teaching there so that you're actually helping girls who are incredibly, I believe everyone has talent and potential, but there's a limit to what you can achieve based on the resources and opportunities you have around you. So you're trying to fix some of that inequity. And it does work for that 30 odd group of students. And running an insight day, for example, getting people into the office and seeing what it's like to work in an investment bank, what's tech like in an investment bank, consider taking STEM A-levels because it can get you here, getting people onto the internship on the grad program, stuff like that. It works. But again, you look around, you're like, how many people does it work for? 30 people who already know about Morgan Stanley, because you can't search for something you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So it's people who are sort of in the middle area anyway, if they might have discovered it. It's limited in scale. So as a technologist, you're thinking, I want to be doing something that has real wide scale impact and something that's not just small scale and isn't just perhaps soothing an ego thing or whatever it is, or a personal
good for pictures.
Exactly. And it does have, I just wanted to do something that had more impact, basically. And I got a call from Gabby saying, hey Fee, I'm thinking of doing this startup. It's going to look like this. I want to solve this problem. We've talked about this before. What do you think about the tech side? And I personally separately had gone on a journey where I was actually ready to jump into the startup world. And I was on the call and I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. I want to do this. I want to pitch myself, like, be more Gabby. It's honestly what's going through my head, because Gabby is very, whenever there's been a sort of instance where you're like, just go and do it, I always think, be more Gabby. Exactly. So it's like, I think I should be your CTO. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And I mean, we then had dinner on the Wednesday and pitched our first investors on Friday and incorporated on Saturday. And I called Fee because I wanted her to be my CTO. So it was quite like when she said it, I was like, oh, that's actually perfect. Yeah, that is why I called.
But that's the pitch, right? You've got to make it
smooth.
Yeah, you've got to make it think it's that person's idea. That's the best way of saying it.
So it was very much calling to see, like, I know she cares about this problem, and I know she wants, I knew you were going through this entrepreneurial journey. So it was very much like stars aligned in so many ways. Yeah. And it's like, we've known each other for 14 years. For 2 of those years, we spent every single class sat next to each other. So we know we work really well together. And that is the perfect teammate to create and build something.
That's like music. Like, that's like a perfect, the fact that
so
you
lucky.
came and
So
said
lucky.
you want to be CTO. That I don't know why that fills me with like, so emotional. Because you know when you want some, like when you're starting this journey, you want someone to think something, but it doesn't come from them. They're not motivated in that way. But to hear that on the other line, that like, oh, but you're CTO.
Yeah.
Like,
very
like,
lucky.
I'll marry you. No, I'm joking. It feels very like
it is like a partnership. Yesterday, Gabby bought me a Mother's Day gift because we got the app through the App Store review process.
Is it not? Like, we are like, we do feel like we're like mother hens. Like, we feel like we've got, mama bears of this like, you're creating something, you're building something, you're like creating what the vision of it looks like, and building the app is, it's nice to have these little pieces that remind you of that day and what it took to build that day, right?
Yeah. Oh, what a push. That's amazing. I love that so much. And sort of the next element of the podcast is called 0 to 6 months. So,
nice.
Well, actually 0 to 10 months, because you started 0 to 10 months. So I want to explore everything you did in between to get your app off the ground. Just to help other aspiring entrepreneurs know I can do this, this, and this to sort of get the app going. So tell us after the pitch with the first investor, like start there and then work your way to now.
Yeah. So pitch to the first investor, it was very much like there was one person that was an angel investor that was within our network, and I'd reached out just to kind of bounce ideas off him and kind of get his thoughts from an investment point of view. And it was very much like, we'll fund you. So it was very quick, but we actually ended up turning away that investment. I think from dipping our toes into the investment space. First of all, you have to understand that everyone's got different incentives to play. And so it's very important for us, as I said, going back to like, we feel like a mama bear, we need to be protective of this child. This isn't something we're just doing to have a business. This is a problem that we deeply care about and we think will make huge impact to the world around us. We want to make sure that every single person that is part of forming that team is exactly aligned with that mission and what we're doing. So that we had that gut feeling of it wasn't the right fit investment, and realistically the world is filled with money is everywhere, but it's just about finding the right person to connect with that money. So
I love that mindset, because people think that money's scarce, especially when you're running a business, but the fact that you were like have the confidence to reject money,
it's rejecting that money actually makes you push of, we want to generate money through revenue, and revenue, what it does is it validates your solution. So it gives you more of that drive and hunger to be like, I'm not just sitting on investment capital. I'm actually here to demonstrate value through money coming in. So we turned that away. And then it was, I knew that in order to get fee to leave a job, we had to get money through the job.
So you hadn't left yet?
No, so I hadn't left yet. I'd actually just bought a flat.
Literally the day that week of had also bought a flat. So it was like...
it was a very, very crazy time. So just bought a flat. So financially had no buffer. So was then in the position where I was, okay, so we need money in the door as soon as possible. And also, the benefit of validating like that we're going to be building something people pay for. That's what the benefit of getting that money in via revenue. And I need to build up my security buffer. Yeah. Exactly.
People don't talk about it enough. You can't just be like up and quit if you've got no like buffer.
And that really frustrated me, especially there's such a fairy tale story around entrepreneurship where, I just quit my job, or I don't know, I sold my first business at 16 and hence I've got the funding to be able to do X, Y, Z. But actually, in a lot of cases, it's no, you've got to work to get that buffer. And then once you've built it, it doesn't make it any less scary, often quitting. But once you've built it, you look at it and you go, okay, what is the real reason I can't make this leap now?
Yeah.
Just that I'm scared, that's not a good enough reason. So you go ahead and do it. But so we got that first revenue in the door, built up that buffer, and that's what let me quit my job, which in that 0 to kind of 4 months period was working both at the same time, which was really hard. And again, I didn't see many people online talking about that much. I think often because you can't really make it too obvious when you're doing both. But
exactly. So you were still working at Morgan Stanley and also in the evenings and weekends working with Buddy Ed. So it was like pretty wild. But to kind of take you guys through how we generated that revenue.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to come on.
Yeah. So I mean, like, that was very much a journey, very much a learning process. What I find is really helpful to kind of frame the journey of entrepreneurism. You want to be tied to a problem you really care about, but you need to be really open-minded and fluid with the solution, because the solution
it changes.
Do not be confident with the solution. The solution you need to be as a reflection of the iterative process of working with who you're solving a problem for. So we're tied to the problem of the large majority of people are in their wrong fit career.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Our experience had all been focused around that 14 to 18-year-old age group. So what do you go with first? We go with the age group that we know very well. So the first solution was companies sponsoring virtual work experiences. So the first company that sponsored it was Octopus Energy. Octopus Energy has this strand called Octopus Energy Equality Foundation.
Nice.
So they sponsored a work experience program that we designed, delivered virtually, which went out to 250 schools, focused in areas where there's high populations of BAME students in those schools. So aligned with the mission of what they're trying to bring more diversity into the energy sector. And that was incredible to get that solution. It validated the need of companies wanting to build a talent pipeline of diverse students, a future diverse workforce for them. And then on the student side, it validated the need of experiences that allow you to find that right fit career. But in creating that solution and building it out and looking for other organizations interested in this and other students interested in the program, we actually found a much bigger problem and a much bigger need for a much bigger market. So that same problem of most people are in the wrong fit career remained.
Yeah.
But the target that was desperate for solutions was actually all our friends, people in their 20s.
Wasn't 14 to 18-year-olds.
Yeah, that age group, they hadn't felt the pain of being in that wrong fit career.
Yeah. They've got other
that desperation.
immediate pains of like passing their exams, getting into an apprenticeship at uni.
Yeah.
Those are the immediate pains.
But then in our age group, so many of my friends, I was looking around, the majority of my friends were either looking for jobs or in jobs they hated. Most people are open to a new role.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
This is just comment. Like,
like it's 91% of the job market open to a new role, which is an enormous amount, right? So you've got, so it's like you've got the 61% who are not actively job seeking, so passive candidates, not actively job seeking, but open to a new role. Then you've got 30% of the workforce who are open to a new role, who are actively job seeking rather. And so we found that from building that solution, all our friends were like, I want help solve it. I want help finding my right fit career. And then it's the thing of coming to tech to solve that problem at scale. And so what we've built now, that the app allows each person to find and reach their right fit career through AI-powered job and career matching and personalized career guidance. So that is the solution that we're releasing now, which will be today would be the first app launch.
Actually, this happened maybe like 4 years ago. I was looking for a career before becoming an entrepreneur because I couldn't really find one. How could I use your app to find a career that would be right for me?
So the first thing you're going to do is you go into it and it's gamified, fun, tested with all of our beta users. We are sick of job searching being a process that is so overwhelming and dull that people actually get turned off from even doing it at all.
Yeah.
So it's fun, gamified. We have our characters. So you'll see these as you go in and you'll go into your profile and you get to enter information about yourself, your whole self. So this is sure job titles that you're looking for if you know, but it's also fine if you don't know that. It can be industries, interests, values, your past experience, all we can grab that from your LinkedIn so you don't have to repeat yourself, all in the most easy to do gamified manner so that you can express your whole self. And by doing that, we have the information to match you to things that you will actually be interested in and good at. So once you've entered your information, your profile, you can then go into your AI matches for jobs and careers. So if you're ready for the job market right now, you can check out your matches. So what that looks like is it's a list of your matches. And depending on what you're interested in, you then click on one of those and it shows you a Tinder-like swipe card of the profile, always in the same format, so you can very easily digest and compare it using information that we've tested with all of our beta users of like, this is what I need to know if I'm deciding whether or not to pursue this job. And when you click on that job, okay, this one looks interesting to me. We then build a stack of cards similar to that. So you can zoom in and zoom out to the chunks of the job market that are relevant to you, that you're interested in. No more just seeing the same jobs that you currently have on your job title, which is what most platforms show you. So you can see those job cards, swipe through, like, apply to whatever you fancy. And based on how you're interacting with the listings you see, we then show you more of what you like and less of what you don't.
Okay.
So maybe you're looking through, you see those jobs, maybe you see something like, okay, I want 3 years TypeScript experience. And I'm a bit unsure because, well, maybe I've done, maybe I'm like, okay, well, with JavaScript and TypeScript, are they relatively interchangeable? So I'll go into my AI career coach tab where I then can talk to that AI career coach. Okay, so I've got this experience. Do you think it will be enough? Do you think it'll be relevant?
Yeah.
I'm a bit nervous about applying. And then you can talk through that. And then that can give you the guidance, or I don't know what this means in this listing. Oh, it means that. Okay, great. We're good to go. The other thing you can do, so maybe you're seeing jobs and you're like, okay, maybe not ready to apply right now. And a lot of like people in their 20s that we know, basically everyone that we know and talk to, want to explore the broader range of what their career options are. The large majority of my friends are pivoting through various like sub-industries or industries. So, for example, a cybersecurity analyst who's now doing a Code First Girls software degree apprenticeship so that she can become a software developer, that sort of thing. So then we have our Explore Careers tab, which is matching you to careers. So saying the job title and the industry. Again, matched completely based on your interactions in the app, the way that you've swiped through listings, your profile, your conversations with your career coach. And you can see the careers that are out there and actually make informed decisions as a result.
Yeah. So what's shown on the career profile is everything from what's the day in the life, what's the average salary, what's the career progression look like, who am I interacting with, and some are like written in kind of text, and a lot are also gamified tabs. So how much does the job vary? How much is it consistent? Is it outdoors? Is it indoors?
Like a sliding
Do I get to
scale.
travel? What's the percentages? What industry it's going to go into? So it allows you to see the key information you need to know, do I want to explore that career further? And what are the steps that I can do that are easy, actionable, that I can go take that one step further? And again, like the job profiles, you can like them, you can send them to your profile, we learn your style, we show more of what you like, less of what you don't.
Honestly, mind-blowing. I'm just wondering, like, how does that actually work on a technical level? Like, how did you do that? Like, do this? Like,
everything. She's a machine.
How did you get that into...
It's just awesome that we get to do this because you can do it now because of LLMs, because of the advent of LLMs.
Subset of AI.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
If you can just
tech, exactly. So the tech that's behind ChatGPT is LLM, so large language models, which is a type of generative AI where it can produce content. So when it comes to career coach, that people will, I think, be able to associate is similar to ChatGPT, but with a technology called RAG, which is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, which just means getting the relevant piece of your information and putting that into the beginning of any prompt we have with the LLM so that you aren't having to repeat yourself. Oh, I'm working at Morgan Stanley and a full stack developer. No, it knows that context about you so it can actually give you actionable insights without you having to type it out again. So that side, it's kind of, I think people will be able to associate that pretty well with ChatGPT. The other side, so knowing how to match you with your careers and job listings, also is the tech behind ChatGPT, but it uses something called embeddings. And what this does is it's like a multi-dimensional graph, if you can imagine that. So a normal graph might have X and Y, which is 2 axes, whereas this is a multi-dimensional, like more than 3D space. And it clusters text into nearness. So maybe quite near dog might be cat, but spoon might be all the way over there. And what that does is it lets you compare nearness of things. So if you're liking, I don't know, cybersecurity analyst in government, maybe near to that point might be cybersecurity policy writer in government. So you can compare nearness of things and depending on the direction that person is moving in. So quite near to each other might be like all outdoor jobs. So if someone keeps moving away from indoor jobs, then you can see, okay, well, they're wanting to go over here and you let their swipes, you can now use this tech to like let their swipes guide what you show them more of.
That's like one of the clearest explanations I've ever heard of Thank you for breaking that down.
Of course, I genuinely love doing it. And I think more people should, I'm not here for gatekeeping tech. More people should be able to access it. More people should be able to use it, because then we can do stuff like this and actually use it to change people's lives. I am a tech optimist. I believe it's going to change the world for good.
What Fee does incredibly well is her style of communication. Like that, I've learned. I knew very little about the tech space, and sometimes when you're outside of the tech space, it can feel really alien and it can feel really other, and it can, I don't know that word, so I'm not meant to be there. And then what Fee's allowed me to do is actually make me really comfortable in the space, but explaining it in really like clear, visible ways. So thank you,
because that nearness and farness thing, it just makes sense. Like, I've never been able to understand like LLMs and just the whole process. Like, I just felt that you just brought it to a very simplistic.
I can see you guys are passionate and engaged about it. But anytime someone doesn't understand something, please remember that means that the person you're talking to hasn't explained it well enough. It's as simple as that. And they might not mean to. They might just, not be putting in enough thought to explain it properly. They might also not really understand it themselves. So remember that if you don't understand something, it's because it's not been explained well enough.
And that's brilliant. That is a really interesting segue to what I would love to understand about you guys being females in tech. I just want to explore your experiences. Yeah, let us know more. Like, how could we get more women into tech? What brought you into tech? What have your experiences been like? That was loads of questions there, but like, I would just love to hear you guys sort of speak on this.
Do you want to start? You entered the tech space before I did. So what was your journey into tech?
To be fair, like, also you were in aerospace engineering, so it's pretty, both are pretty male dominated, male dominated, and then entrepreneurship even more. So I was lucky that I was at I went in via Morgan Stanley, which is a company who cares a lot about D&I.
What were they called, sorry?
Morgan Stanley.
Oh, okay.
So they care a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that space was always very welcoming at work. It was always a bit more the external tech spaces where I often felt, it was just constant imposter syndrome, and often felt I didn't belong, to the point where it held me back an awful lot. I've grown so much more in the last 10 months because of shedding a lot of that imposter syndrome and recognizing that I'm good at tech and feel passionate about it. But often when you're comparing yourself to the way that passion and interest and skill manifests in other people, and if it doesn't look the same, often you then make the assumption like, oh, that I don't really belong here. So for example, my weekends didn't look like working on, building my own code base LLM to shave like 5% off the response time. My weekends looked like going out with friends and swimming and dance. And I think sometimes just because you don't look like, or not necessarily just look like, but the way that you live your life and your passion and interests manifest are different to the people around you, you might think you don't belong. So it's that, and also like in tech spaces. So conferences, for example, there's this big tendency in the tech sphere to communicate by tearing stuff down, which I've never really understood. Oh, this language is so rubbish. This if you use that framework, what? And the real reason is because it's a way for people to communicate their expertise on an area, but it's very easy to tear something down. It's a lot harder to build something up or have like a constructive conversation. So it's people like peacocking and signaling, I'm clever, I understand this tech and why it's so bad. And I just wasn't really interested in those conversations, quite frankly. And if you don't engage with them, there's often an assumption of, oh, so you're a like product designer or a UX UI designer, which there is nothing wrong with. But note how anything that is more women dominated in terms of a field is much more likely to get discredited. Nursing, teaching, influencing, UX, UI, graphic design. So there's that thing of like, oh, I'm going to assume you're not technical. No, I mean, I am. I'm just not really interested in playing the I hate JavaScript game. So yeah, it does sort of reinforce this idea that you don't belong. I've been told, oh, you don't have a computer brain, because I just, in various spaces, wasn't communicating the same way. But that is, it's difficult. And you just have to surround yourself with people, women and men, but I have a very strong group of women friends who tell me otherwise. And working with someone who is so validating and confidence building, I've actually seen how much faster I grow as a result. So I would encourage people to find that tribe, build that tribe around you who builds you up. Because if a large chunk of your emotional and mental energy is going to just arguing against, yes, I do belong here, then, you know, you're using it up.
Yeah. How far can you like propel if all you're trying to do is prove yourself?
Exactly. And I'm out of the business of grassroots convincing people that I belong in tech. I don't care anymore. I've got a business to build.
Yeah.
But
and you've got people that support you on it. Yeah.
But yeah, the difficulty comes if you need something from that person, if you need investment, or if you need their contacts or whatever, then you need to go back a little bit back into the convincing. So then you like front load your qualifications, and that goes some of that way as well. So
yeah.
Front loading your qualifications. Yeah. Like, I mean, these are just tips that I guess would be really helpful for people to know in the sense that sometimes it's what you have to do to get your like
100%. And that I found
until
that
it changes,
works a bit better. Exactly. Yeah. Like you're not gonna beat the game by not doing it. So let me just like address any reservations that I think this person might have up front, and then we know where we stand and we can actually move forward.
Yeah. And how have your experiences been?
Yeah, so my background's in chemical engineering, went into the aerospace industry. Aerospace industry, in terms of women engineers, you've got about 8-9%. So it's a very small percentage of women in the technical side. And you know, like in any organization, in any large organization, there usually is a space for making initiatives that try and increase diversity and inclusion. But the reality is, working in a space where there just isn't many women, you have to change your communication style to work for someone else's communication style. And what I've learned from now working in a women organization, and you know, we will bring on both men, women, anything in between into our organization, but like it's been a really insightful experience going from having to communicate in a language that will resonate to men in working in teams where it's just I'm working just with guys, to now working with women.
Could we unpack what the difference is, like how you communicate with men and how you communicate with women?
I think there's and you know, I'm very still like fluid and with the thoughts, and you know, I want to learn and learn more about the space. But I think there's the assumption that when we say equity, that we're saying we are equal in how we work. We're equal in, you know, everything should be the same. And we have differences, and actually those differences, that masculine, that feminine, that's beautiful. And you know, we have that masculine and feminine in both of us. And everyone has the masculine and feminine. But the masculine and the feminine works best in different ways. So if we say the communication style, if you speak to women, and the way I communicate now, working in a women-led company, it's a lot more speaking about the feelings, the emotion. It's more kind of painting a picture rather than nailing the details. And working in a very male-dominated space, the language that seemed to work well, and every organization has their way of communicating, which you kind of have to learn like what communicates there, but it was a lot more nitty-gritty details. And here I kind of speak quite fluidly, which didn't always resonate as much in a very technical male-dominated space. So another example is in the corporate world, there's you know, we've got the 9 to 5, the Monday to Friday. As a woman, we go through menstrual cycles, which is
I think about this a lot, you know.
Spoken about. So we go through huge change in our hormones on a roughly monthly basis. These hormones, the change in hormones don't happen in men. You know, there is a clear difference. Now, as these changes in hormones happen, there's changes in how our cognitive ability works. The different strengths change throughout the month. So, for example, the week before your period, it's really good to have rest time. So you don't stress your body out too much, because that will allow you to perform best in those next 3 weeks. In that week before, your risk tolerance, you feel more risk. And so that's really good for assessing, what are my risks in the business? How can I plan against those risks? Going into, there's parts of your cycle where you're really good at that cognitive ability, that ability to speak to others. So go to loads of networking events, speak to a lot of people, because I'm going to work best there. That my energy is gonna flow in that space. But so what I'm going back to is, men and women have differences, and that's okay. That's actually beautiful. But how can we work to amplify the strengths of each individual, whatever that looks like, and working now in a space where we can create that environment to actually allow us to thrive best. We've been working, allowing that communication to align with how do we naturally best communicate? Yeah. How do I naturally best coordinate the activities I do in alignment to how my body is changing? So yeah,
that is crazy, because I always think, like, how much of a disservice are we doing to women by not thinking about the menstrual cycle? Because I'm just thinking some women are extremely tired, but they're still coming to work, having to do these things, and it doesn't make you less of a worker. It just it's along the cycle of, and I'm just thinking that
it's a different cycle.
Yeah.
So, and that's okay, and it makes sense that we are going by the structure that has worked for. If we go back 100 years, it was just basically all men in these industries. Right. So it makes complete sense that we're using structures that worked in the past. But now that we are having more and more women into these spaces, we need to understand there is likely needed a big change in how we work to work for each individual in order to truly be an equitable and inclusive space.
And when did it hit you this was a major problem? Because it's now being spoken about and things like that. But when did it hit you that when I run an organization like you two are doing, that I have to be running according to women's cycles?
I listen to a lot of women entrepreneurs. I listen to a lot of inspiring females, and I think you can often learn from that. So some of that has come from just listening to other women that have also mapped their business cycle to their menstrual cycle. So I've learned from that. Yeah. So learn through that, and that's kind of we live in a world where we can access a lot of different resources, so let's use that around us. So what do you want to learn about, and who can help you learn about that space? But often it's in when you change your situation, are you able to reflect? So I never considered this when I was in the corporate world.
Nor did I.
Because it's not spoken about, it's not standard. It's just why would I consider it? It's never come up. But now, from being in a space where we have the beauty of being able to decide, what do we want in our organization? And let's not consider the status quo. Even the status quo of, the entrepreneur says is very heavily male dominated. Let's not just go with what's been done, because it's been done for someone that has differences to us. So it's having the freedom to redefine and really reflect on, how do I work best? How does Fee work best? How do we collaborate best? And what organization will create the best outcome, which is really, how can I allow my people in my organization to perform at their best?
Yeah. And it's funny enough, because I think 3 days ago I was super tired, and I started my day a bit earlier, but would make up for it in other ways, maybe even during the week. And I was thinking, imagine if I'd been had a corporate role, I wouldn't have been able to have that rest that I really felt I needed to be able to perform better 3 weeks later. And I was thinking, this one day I think we'll look back and think that's crazy that women were working this way.
And I hope so. And I hope the more we speak about it, the more we see organization making those changes and have those conversations, that I hope in 50 years the corporate world looks very different, and we can truly create a space that allows each person to thrive at their best.
And I think the competition for top talent is some of what drives that. That's why I have faith as well that is going to happen, because that is some of the differentiators that you can give as a business of actually we do let you be your best self. We're not going to make you sit in front of a computer desk when you're doubled over because you've got cramps. No, we're going to actually just let you work when you're going to be amazing at work. So that is how you have that differentiation and attract that top talent. And then everyone's going to have to catch up in order to compete.
You guys have made me excited for the future of work for women.
Yes,
honestly, I can't wait.
It is an exciting thing.
Yes, it will be very different, and I'm excited to create an organisation that lets every person, whatever they look like, thrive.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Honestly, I'm so grateful to have you guys on the podcast, sharing this. Hopefully, I would love 10 years' time, people would see the work, this is how it started, what you were doing. Thank you so much, guys.
You're creating an excellent space.
Oh, thank you. We've got a bit of a game.
Yes.
Whoa, I love games. I love organised fun.
The prize, so...
There's a prize.
The prize is honour and glory.
Yeah. We'll take that.
So, or one of us buys the other a coffee.
Yeah, let's play for some steaks. Yeah. So we're going to play a quick game called How Well Do You Guys Know Each Other? So the first question is, what is the other person's biggest pet peeve?
Ooh.
Fee's thinking hard. Gabby was like, Fee's like,
it's running through my head. Hang on.
I don't know what my biggest
I've
pet
got
peeve
so
is.
much content that's running through my brain, and I just need to extract.
What is my biggest pet peeve?
So yeah, you guys have to
I
think.
don't know what my biggest pet peeve is.
I will say, well, I'll accept any pet peeve answer, to be fair.
Okay.
But you've got to have your pet peeve written down as the one that.
Okay.
You know, just so there's no like, oh yeah, that's what I would have said, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I need to think, what is my biggest?
Yes.
Okay, so time is up. So, Gabby, what is your biggest pet peeve?
See, I wrote closed-mindedness. You know when someone...
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, which is quite a fluid one. Like, in terms of people that aren't open to... Yeah, closed-mindedness. Like...
Yeah. Okay.
What did you write down?
I've got something a bit more trivial, like excessive perfume.
Extreme.
Yeah.
okay. So you were thinking deep.
Yeah.
And you were like excessive perfume.
Yeah, too much perfume. I'm like, the perfume kills your brain and
okay, Fez, yeah, I've heard that too.
So, and so now I'm like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're killing me. But yeah,
I did think about closed-mindedness.
I've got mine as also.
Okay,
I've got loud noises, like excessively loud noises.
True, I guess the peeve. I guess yeah. I wrote germs, aka things.
Yes. No, sorry, that's it. That's it.
So Gabby knows you better than you know yourself.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we went to Mallorca together to visit my family there, and we went through duty free, and I just like love trying all those things, and Fee's like, oh my god, curling up and just like the germs.
I had to walk away. Gabby said she's building my immune system.
Yeah. Honestly. All right, so are we going to give Gabby a point? Or
no, Gabby absolutely gets that point.
Because is that what you...
I feel like yours, the perfume one was spot on though, but I just was on the more philosophical strand. But
Emma, you get to decide.
Half, we can split it.
Do you know what? First of all, let's do a half-half thing. Yeah. So you're both on half-half. But this is the last time half-halves are happening.
Okay. Yeah, some of those rules.
Okay. The next question is, if you guys weren't doing what you were doing now, what would be both of your dream careers?
I know this one.
Okay. So, Fee, we'll start with you. No, actually, Gabby, what's your dream career?
Mine is like David Attenborough / photography / like bushwhacking in the jungle with tribes and communicating that through some sort of visual form.
That vibe,
yeah. Barefoot, living off the land. That's
brilliant.
what I'd be doing.
I love that.
I've literally written David Attenborough / photographer / and here's where I have some level of deviation in the North or South Pole, because I know you talked about that extreme.
Yeah. I lived with a tribe for a couple years ago in Ecuador on my own, and throughout my life my biggest transformation has come from traveling in very off the beaten path experiences, and film is a form to communicate that and kind of share that with others, because ultimately traveling gives you the core message of we are all 99.999% the same.
Yeah.
And actually it's a beautiful world that we are all part of this collective humanity. But yeah, I love off the beaten path experiences. But yes, bang on. Let's go.
Bang on. I think that deserves a point. All righty.
Yes.
So what is your dream career, Fee?
Mine is actor.
Oh, true. I thought that was a past dream. Yeah, I guess if you that was when you were younger. But I've got descriptions of leadership, impact, education, and somewhat in the tech space. And so I've got AI policy, like
this.
AI
Okay, this is the real one.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the real one. Actually, like coming up, sort of thing.
Yeah, like we would love to do that in like 10 years, get into like the AI policy space, and yeah.
No, that's actually very true. That is true.
You're like, that deserves a point. Like, I love how you two are like, that deserves a point. You deserve a point. Like, so should we give you both a point? But
I'm sorry.
Okay, so the next question is, what is your co-founder's biggest phobia or fear?
I'm really struggling. I consider you quite fearless.
I've actually got ours as the same.
Okay. Well, then I'll do that. I'll do the same then. Yeah, which I think probably is true, because I was going to come up with something and I was like, actually, I think mine, would be more yours. Okay.
I've got the one that's my biggest fear, and I think it's your also, biggest fear is losing our freedom. And when I say losing our freedom, I mean like freedom, and when we talk about having to go, imagine if we went back to the corporate space where we're told what to do, losing our freedom to make decisions. Like, being a startup founder has given us a new way of life. Like, we are so much more free beings to be our best selves and to make decisions that align with us. And we sometimes speak about, imagine going back to a space where you're told you have to be here, you have to do this, you have to do this, without understanding why I'm doing it, what's the bigger picture. Like, so I think my fear, and I think what we've spoken about, is like the fear of losing that, and like that's another motivator to like help people get that freedom at work, but also like make this business thrive so that everyone can have that freedom.
Honestly, there's so much to say on that. Like, sometimes I think back, like, how did I get up at the same time every day doing things that just weren't right? Like, when you just think, I can't even go back to that. Even if I run out of money, like, I don't even know how I would go back.
Yeah, I'd be living in a tent just
honestly, just to avoid that. Like, but yeah, freedom. But amazing. So what did you write?
So I'm not going to get the point because it's not the same thing, although I do agree with Gabby and I were literally speaking about that yesterday. I was like, I should have said I was cycling along and like just thinking that. So I've got biggest fear, people we love dying. Like that would be that's probably would be my biggest fear. But yeah. So,
is that your biggest fear?
I put that for both of us.
Right.
Because I think because I think that's probably the biggest utilitarian argument wise, but
slightly different approach. I guess like my view on death, I think death is often not spoken.
Actually that's not really very
living with the tribe. What a key thing, we spoke about death all the time.
Actually,
like death was, it wasn't seen as like this scary alien thing. It's like the spirits leaving to a different space, and like so I think my dog passed away a week ago, and initially it's like the initial like very human thing of like being really sad about death, and actually being death enables birth. Like, it is we need one to have the other, and there is going to be an end to life, and the more we're conscious of the end of life, the more we can live every day as if it could be our last, and that's probably how we're going to be more impactful, more aligned with ourselves. So I've kind of changed my view on death.
No, that's very fair. Like Gabby gets that point, I think, for sure. Because as you were saying that, I was like, no, this is very true. We've spoken about that.
Yeah, because death, like, no one wants to say, even your parents, they never mention that, like, oh, one day I won't be here. There's no, like, you just don't want to talk about, like, so why would, when someone says that, you're like, why would you say something like that? Like, why would you say, you're gonna die, even though it's like the most sure thing?
Yeah, and that's okay. Coming to peace with that is very peaceful.
Wow, I love that you have that philosophy. That's very probably freeing. Okay, on a lighter note.
All the time. We always have light chat.
Yeah. So I didn't mean it like that, but
no, I hear that.
Yeah.
I think the more we come out of corporate land, I'm like, I can't small talk anymore. Like,
I don't think we've ever had like a podcast conversation about death. That is the first one.
That's the hook. The only thing certain in life is death.
Yeah, that's it. Like, so that concludes how well you know each other. And I feel like you guys know each other pretty well.
Yeah, we do.
And you're on the same wavelength. So that's absolutely brilliant. So what is something that you wish you had known before starting a business?
For me, I think the low risk it can be. It's given this very like risky, crazy, manic environment. It doesn't have to be. Like, if you really, there's so many resources and tools around you, and everything you want to achieve in life is just a few conversations away. And the enormous benefit you get from having your own business, the freedom that you get. So I wish I knew beforehand how much riskier it was for me to stay in the corporate land. And actually, if you look at the tools around you and the resources around you and the people around you, it can be incredibly low risk and huge potential reward for being in a job that can have huge impact for what you care about and use your skills, your interests in alignment with that. So I wish I knew what the enormous benefits of starting my own business could be.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I really resonate with that. Like, I do agree with that. I'd say probably that would be the number one. But if I had to pick a different one, the next one would be just stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you can do it, you should do it. It's never going to come. It's just you. And you've got to believe that you can.
What are your sort of top tips, like sort of insights you've received on this journey that you could share on the podcast?
I'd say number one is the most important thing is to really understand the problem. And you understand the problem best from speaking to people. So asking the right questions. There's a really good book that we read from the beginning called The Mum Test. Ask the questions and don't ask to respond. Ask to listen and dig into things that you're not clear about. Because the better you know the problem, the better your solution will be. And don't show someone the solution after months. Do you like it? No. Show them a solution the next day of like, here's some thoughts. What are your thoughts? Bring them onto the journey so that by the time the solution is built, well, we've made it together. So of course you like it.
Yeah.
We literally, we've designed the whole thing end to end together.
Yeah.
So.
Brilliant. Yeah. And what some of your insights, or you share this? Yeah.
Similar to that, drop your ego at the door, which is what like enables you to do that, because you're going to be wrong. So you can be wrong and stick with it and you'll pay, or you can drop your ego at the door and like learn it and iterate and get better. If you've got a co-founder, it's like that relationship is like the number one. So you feel something's off. Hey, what's up? Let's talk about it. Like that the most open conversation channel you could ever possibly have. Make sure that you have that. And it's progress. Like it's not, any relationship is you have to keep putting time and effort and work into it.
For sure. And actually that brings me on to the next question. Like, how do you two manage conflict if you have conflict?
If you don't have conflict, you have bigger problems. Really big problems.
Yeah.
So, we've been friends for 14 years, but becoming co-founders, that's a different relationship that we have to, learn and grow as we go. But we often come back to the idea of we're on the same team, both of us jumping over a wave. And that's been a progress. Like the initial conflicts, you first have to learn each other's conflict styles. In conflict, do you run away or do you lean in? And we have, you have to understand, how do you work best in conflict? What does that look like for you? And we know each other really well that we can often sense as soon as any of us be like, what's up? What's up? But I think what some of the learnings have been is address things as they come and work together. If they're, every single conflict you have, which there needs, you're making so many decisions, and the best thing is that we have different points of view. If we don't, we're just repeating the same thing. And when you have different points of view, it's like awesome. Now we have an opportunity to get to a better solution, and that's not the one in the middle. That's where is the best based on given our two insights. So it's the key thing is having really good communication to both communicate your thoughts and also listen to the others' thoughts and continuously build that relationship. So we work together at least 3-4 times a week. And so we're in the office learning what's happening in and outside of work, and making sure that you have that designated time to address like what could we be doing better. Every week should look better than the last week. So every conflict is like, okay, what did we do well in that conflict and what could be improved for next time?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then personally for me on that, I think quite a few people resonate with this. Because partly I came from a background of a lot of debating, a lot of Model United Nations, that sort of thing. The way that I'm used to dealing with conflict, if I have to have it, because it doesn't come up in the corporate space that much, you kind of get told what to do and when, as opposed to let's work out what the best thing is. Yeah, exactly. It's like, here's my stance and I'm going to defend it. And if I defend it right, then I've won. And it's completely different. It's like changing that of every single time you have a difference of opinion. It's like taking your stake out the ground and then just having absolute faith we're going to find the best solution. And that's where you go from. But that was definitely a big mindset shift that I had to implement and took time and work in order to change.
What does the future look like for Buddy Ed?
The future of Buddy Ed. The future, long term, what we're building is a globally fulfilled and resilient workforce. And I know that sounds like a bunch of buzzwords, but we mean every single word of it. We want to have a workforce that's fulfilled. And that means that people are in a job that aligns with their skills, interests, and where they want to add value to the world. Yeah. We want it to be resilient, that it can move with the times, because the demands of the workforce are rapidly evolving, and that's amplified by technology, including AI. So fulfilled and resilient global workforce. We want something where opportunities are fluid on a global scale.
Nice.
People want to be able to access different parts of the world, and different countries can offer you different things. So the future of Buddy Ed is building tools that allow every person to find and reach their right fit career, and every company to find and reach their right fit talent, and matching those hand in hand. And that's going to be a long build cycle, and that starts from today and that amplifies from tomorrow. But yeah,
excited for it.
Excited for it. Yeah.
Brilliant. And the final, just if there's anything you want to say on the podcast, any words of advice, words of wisdom, or just general thoughts, feel free this is your space to share.
I think we've kind of got through quite a lot.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's jumping out that's not been said?
I guess it's a very open conversation with anyone that we meet. So, anyone that's listened to this pod and resonates with an aspect, reach out. Like, we're very accessible. We love conversations with others.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, so we've got our BuddyEd_app for Instagram and TikTok, but also our personal accounts. We've got them all linked in there. So message us. We love having a chat. And we've got an office space in Old Street that everyone's welcome for a coffee. And part of what we're trying to do is make it more accessible for other entrepreneurs to join the space. And often by just having a chat and being like, you don't need to be anything special to do this. It really is just be yourselves, come as you are. So reach out.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Weren't they amazing?
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.